What was your overall impression of the movie?
Well, because my good friend Kim, he he sent me a tweet or a post, that somebody was dropping spoilers, or the spoiler culture that's going
Yeah.
on in social media nowadays, because everyone wants to be a cloud chaser and say, "Hey, I saw it first, and this is what happened, and this is the part, and this," So when I heard someone drop one spoiler, I'm like, fuck this. I'm gonna try to see it in the theater. And I did, and he wanted my feedback. So, like, lo and behold, over 2 hours later, I responded, and in my overall opinion, it is a love letter to the 20th Century Fox Marvel and also previous Marvel films. Um, I did not expect a certain one or two cameos
Yeah,
that
there
I.
was one cameo where I was thinking to myself, if Jeff is seeing that, he will be so happy.
Oh yeah, the cameo. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, with Wesley Snipes.
Yes, of
Spoiler alert.
course.
He walked
Yeah.
into the scene like, oh shit, and
Yeah.
the audience was going crazy. They
Nice.
lost their shit. I mean, yeah, they was glad to see Jennifer Gardner reprise her role as Elektra, as well as a surprise cameo by Henry Cavill.
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, because he said, "Oh, yeah, you should come to Marvel. They'll treat you better than the other guys
Yeah.
across the street."
Also, the name. What did he call him? Cavalverine or something like that?
Yeah,
Cavalrine.
Cavillerine, or
Yeah.
some Cavillerine.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, I mean, they must have kept all those surprises under wraps, because there was plenty of Easter eggs, like when you see Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Yeah, that was a deep cut. I think only nerds, like terminally online people would understand that.
Yeah, because there was supposed to be a Gambit movie
Yeah.
featuring him for the longest. And the funny thing is, on my video where I said there can only be one blade, someone responded to me and said that, oh, you must be a prophet. And I'm like, what the hell does he mean by that? So after when watching that scene where, Wesley says there can only be one blade, I'm like, oh shit. And of course, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. He looks right into the camera.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that was funny too. Yeah.
yeah, it had a lot of quirky moments. It was like a 2 hour skit.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, so I would say it's the best comedy of the year. And it's definitely a treat for nostalgia fans of nostalgia. They pulled all the stops of, like, because everybody thought that when you saw a red, I guess, bandage and a blue arm, that, oh shit, it's got to be Chris Evans as Captain America, and it
Mhm.
was his first superhero role as the Human Torch.
Yeah, that was like he is so different in this role. Such a different charisma. Like Chris Evans basically always played this more goofy type of hero in the movies before Captain America, which is why when he was cast, people were like, "What? This guy? Is he
Yeah,
serious enough to play Steve Rogers?" And it turned out he was for sure.
yeah, he was
And
the
by
best Steve
now,
Rogers.
oh yeah, of course. And by now we almost forgot about his, persona from before the Cap movies, which was this way more loosely played, goofy type of man. And it was fun seeing him back in this role. I like it when Chris Evans, when he smiles a lot and is a bit goofy. It's fun.
Yeah, he's definitely a versatile actor.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember, I think the first time I saw him was in this comedy called Not Another Teen Movie or something like that,
Mhm.
and that came out in like 19, no, probably the year 2000, yeah, or 1999 or whatever. So, and he's come a long way. But him playing Cap, he's very stoic and
Oh yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Definitely embodies what Joe Simon and Jack Kirby and the previous writers, you know, had to establish,
Yeah, for us in Germany, it was more or less the other way around. There were no expectations when the first Captain America was announced, because there's a certain, it's not as strong anymore today, but a certain not anti-US sentiment here, but
Yeah.
like
And
all
let's
kinds of US jingoism
Yeah,
and
of
stuff like that
course.
gets shrugged off pretty quickly over here. So when the first Captain America was announced, it was like, oh man, holy hell, what? He's wearing stars and stripes? What kind of bullshit is that? But when the movie came out and people saw that the character was, the story actually made a bit of fun of the propaganda aspect in the first half.
Yeah, the
And
musical bits.
yeah, exactly. And the character was well liked because he was played so earnestly, and he was all about, doing the right thing and not, America, fuck yeah. That wasn't him. And this is why people started to like him over here.
See, that's the thing I definitely liked about Captain America, why he's one of my favorite superheroes, not because of the patriotism and the jingoism, why it's this kind of hammy, whatever. But it's about the character inside, the man inside. When asked by Dr. Erskine, he said, "Why do you want to fight Nazis?"
I don't like bullies.
Yeah, no matter, and he said no matter where they're from. So that's how I feel.
Right.
He
And
fights.
it's such a beautiful line. It's simple, but it, brings the character home, really.
Yeah, he's very to me he's relatable because he wants to fight the good fight. And yeah, I mean, originally Captain America was used as a propaganda tool during the 40s, during
Yeah,
World
with the
War II.
famous
So
cover where he punches Adolf.
yeah, big punch. But yeah, but throughout the 70s, the character more matured when there was one particular arc in the comics where the president, who was probably Richard Nixon, was part of the Serpent Society, and
Mhm.
he was corrupt and killed himself. And that's when Cap, he stopped wearing the uniform because he was, disgusted by like that.
So I know I haven't read these comics, but I saw that he turns into Nomad
Yeah,
then,
that's when he
right?
turns into Nomad, a man
And
without a
they
country.
right, and they did like they hinted at this in the movies, but didn't really go through with that concept, right? It was after Civil War when he had to go on the run from authorities.
Yeah. And also in the 80s, it was a writer, Mark Grunwald, rest in power, who did another, like an updated version where Steve Rogers resigns from being Captain America because the government wants him to work for them, like have him under their fingers, and he
Yeah.
refused to be a puppet, and he questioned authority. He was a conscientious objector, so that's when he relinquished his role as Captain America and just became the captain. And the Committee of Superhuman Activities, they had the guy John Walker as the new Captain America in the comics, and at the end of the day he had a few screws loose. And if you read the comic, he's kind of like well, there's one issue where they kill his parents, and he goes berserk, and he throws a pitchfork through one of them, smashes the other guy's skull in. It was very graphic. That's why, if you see, I mean, obviously when people saw that episode from Falcon and the Winter Soldier where John Walker lifts his shield and obviously decapitated one of the flag smashers, that was lifted from that comic to an
Yeah.
extent.
I hate that moment in that show. I really hate it because it's so hypocritical. It's the show wants us to be like, oh, there's blood on the shield. The innocence of Steve has been tainted by the new Captain America. And I was like, bitch, please. Cap used this shield to kill dozens and dozens of people, just, people we think of as kill-worthy Nazi
Yes,
soldiers and
yes.
Hydra soldiers and whatnot. He used that shield to murder people in the, dozens or even hundreds. And we were fine with it. He's not Batman. He doesn't have that code about not killing. He killed a lot of people in the name of, the he was fighting the good fight for sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, let's not be that hypocritical. Oh no, the new Captain America has killed someone with a shield. There's blood on it. It's tainted now. Fuck off. Really, it's so bad. I can't with that shit.
But there was one episode, I mean, not episode, one issue where one of the Flag Smashers was killing innocent hostages, and he pulled, how should I say, a Superman, Henry Cavill, Man of Steel, and grabbed the Uzi and gunned down the terrorists before he could kill any more people. So that issue was ahead of its time.
Krypton had its chance.
Yeah. Classic.
Oh man, Man of Steel is such a treasure trove of nonsense. God, I love it.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, I love the movie visually speaking. I think it looks fantastic. Man of Steel, I mean, yeah. It's so, you know, it's such a muscular, operatic thing. I like it a lot, if it weren't for these few utterly retarded moments in the movie. But anyway, we are not talking Man of Steel here, but Deadpool.
I mean, Man of Steel has its pros and cons. This was when Snyder was still, quote unquote, on top of his game.
Yeah, when he was still making actual movies rather than clown movies like these days.
And then he did Rebel Moon. So
Retard Moon. Oh, why didn't I think of that? That's pretty, yeah.
You know what? Because that scene, remember I told you about, like in Rebel Moon 2, what is it, Scar Giver, whatever, where they're all like, yeah, cheering them on, and then General Titus looks at them, he's all quiet, and then he goes, yeah, and so it's like a bunch of retards. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, basically it's retarded Moon. So
yeah, it is. I can't wait. 1 week from now we're gonna get the director's cut, both of them. I'm gonna watch them, of course.
Well, that's funny because me, Mr. Opinion, when I found out that that BioShock for Netflix is gonna be, the budget's gonna be reduced, I'm like, this is what happens when they give all this money to Zack Snyder. And the movie,
and to Benioff and Weiss for Three Body Problem, that fucking retard of a show.
Well, I ain't bothered to watch. That's a bullet that I dodged.
Oh yeah, well done.
But the idea that BioShock is still hot property.
Yeah,
and I played all 3 of the games and own them, of course. So I would have loved to see a bigger budgeted interpretation of the video game adaptation, actually.
Yeah.
So there goes the.
But I've been lucky so far in terms of video game adaptations, because there has been no adaptation so far about a game that is really dear to me in every aspect, So of course I loved Resident Evil since it was released on the PlayStation 1, same as you. But you have a more, close relationship with that franchise than me, so it, I guess, pissed you off harder when the adaptations were so bad.
Creepy Thin Man.
Yeah. So I haven't felt like that in any way. I liked some of the Assassin's Creed titles a lot, but the movie wasn't about them. It was its own story in the same world, so whatever. It wasn't good, but it didn't bug me. And, with old stuff like Super Mario Bros. Or Street Fighter, they're just these goofy goobers. It's fun that they exist. They're terrible, but funny. And but there's a few games, if they were to adapt those, I would be, the most hardcore, strict fan who would be like, at every change and every, bit of stupid modernization or what have you, I would, go berserk, like Horizon Zero Dawn or Mass Effect, the Mass Effect trilogy. If they would fuck these up, I would be so mad.
I think they are working on a Mass Effect movie.
Yeah, it's, oh man, I'm just glad it's not Disney.
and to be honest,
Mass Effect have you played Mass Effect?
Halo sucked. I mean, not the video games, of course, but the
show. I heard it's awful
from Paramount Plus. However, Twisted Metal was actually good. Personally, I never played much of Fallout, but the show itself, I definitely liked it.
Yeah, we always wanted to talk about that with Gogo as well, but it never came to that.
Yeah, Go, his schedule is more off than mine. So.
Yeah. So, Fallout, hated it. Absolutely I hated Fallout.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so awful. It's trash.
No. It's almost on the line of the yeah, well, I guess it's splatterpunk technically, just like The Boys. And Walton Goggins chewing up
he was good. He was good, of course.
As the ghoul.
Yeah, Elia Purnell, the main girl, she was pretty good as well.
Yeah. I mean, he even had funny, clever lines like he made her, I think her name is Lucy, yeah, like cut a sliver off the guy's butt because he's a ghoul, he feasts on humans, and he said ass jerky ain't gonna cut itself.
Yeah, what was that about? Ghouls are not cannibals in the games.
Yeah, well, I guess
just the feral ones who go crazy, and turn into regular zombies, basically. Those do eat flesh, of course, of the humans and what else is out there in the wasteland. But the sentient ghouls, they don't go after humans to eat them. That's complete bullshit. And also, the show tells it to us like you can get injected with some serum that turns you into a ghoul, which is what happens to this Brotherhood of Steel dofus later in the season. And that's not true either. I mean, ghouls are just people who lived when the bombs went off and mutated. Yeah. I don't know about these changes. I think they're stupid. But this is not why I hate the show. It's just, without any comparison even to the games, the story on its own is just pure gobbledygook. It's pure nonsense. Nothing makes sense. Everyone is behaving like a retard. I mean, it's got nice texture, it looks nice, it sounds nice, it has this satirical sheen to it. I understand why many people liked it, but the story is just utterly brain dead. Especially the part at the end with another change from the games. In the games, the war started because China and US hit it off on the battlefield. And then the nukes came flying and everything ended, basically. But the show tries to tell it like the company running the vaults, like at some point they're saying like, so our product is selling due to the fear of war. So let's bring the war. Because then we as good capitalists can reign over the what? Empty Earth? What? There is no more capitalism after nuking everything. There is no more making profit after nuking everything. It's completely counter to their goals what they're doing. Well, they want to build a monopoly.
America.
No, it's not a monopoly anymore if there is no one to compete against and no one to sell to. Yeah. You are bombing away the market you want to dominate. I don't understand. It's so dumb. Why did they do this? This change from the games that is so stupid.
Yeah. And well,
oh man.
And maybe it's separating the wheat from the chaff. I don't know part of that.
They are capitalists. Their main goal is to make profit, sell their product. If there is nobody to buy your product, what is it good for? What is the logic behind that? I can't believe anybody wrote and then filmed this bullshit. Yeah. Oh well, and then there's tons more in the show to talk about. But anyway, later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Back to Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes. Like I said, I thought it was very entertaining. Will it give Marvel Studios that much needed comeback or resurgence? It's possible, but
they have to
they have to maintain their momentum. I mean, because if this is just like a lightning in the bottle, then and the succeeding films bomb, then you know what? They're back to square one. They have to get out of the Phase 4 trap.
Yeah. And this movie ain't gonna help with that because, like you said, it's a nostalgia piece. It's a 2-hour skit, basically. It's nothing that gets the MCU proper back on track. It's just the sideshow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shot in the arm, but the big challenge will be Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah,
So
that and Thunderbolts as well.
yeah, well, I mean, we'll see about Thunderbolts. I just don't like part of the, yeah,
Oh, it's got
like
Taskmaster. I think you liked
yes,
it. You liked
yes,
her.
Pop and I, we're still pissed off
Yeah.
about that. Actually, I was speaking to
Yeah.
one of my coworkers the other day, and we was talking about the Marvel films, and yeah, that's what I think about Black Widow. I said it's a huge disappointment because they ruined a villain that I happen to be a fan of especially back then when I was a kid, and he was like, "Oh, Taskmaster." I said, "Yeah," and I said they used her as a silly plot device, so.
Oh yeah, yeah, they did.
You know.
Did her dirty.
Oh yeah, because in the comics, Taskmaster, of course, he was, a guy, but he was a trash talking guy, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he was full of
A merc with
bravado,
a mouth, one might say.
something like that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Um, but it is what it is. So, Marvel Studios, they really have to step up their game. It's just funny, like yeah, that, Deadpool and Wolverine, it's gonna do numbers. It's gonna do big numbers
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because of the installed fan base and also the nostalgia behind it, like those cameos. I never thought I would see again. Never thought I'd see Wesley Snipes because back then with Blade Trinity behind
Mhm.
the scenes,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Wesley and Ryan didn't get on.
Yeah.
They did not like each other, and but the thing is, I think on a not too recent interview, we said any chance, of doing another Blade or working with Wesley Snipes. He was like, I don't think so. But what Ryan did was to like do a bait and switch. You know, he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna make people think that I'll never work with him again." And
Hmm.
lo and behold, boom. So
Well, yeah, it made for a nice surprise, of course.
yeah, it was a big surprise. It was
Yeah.
a big surprise. Everybody did their thing. Jennifer Gardner's Elektra. Uh, I I was glad to see Wolverine finally put on the mask.
Yeah, it looked a bit strange, but it was
Yeah, it
comics
did
accurate.
because of his 5 o'clock shadow, like a
Yeah,
big.
maybe, and the I didn't like the white eyes. Why couldn't we see his eyes? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess it's probably like the same as Deadpool. He has that white in his
Yeah,
eyes, like in the
yeah,
comics.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, they could have cut out the white eye shield or made it a little transparent or something. But
Yeah, I was thinking like, is this some sort of, like the Bat mask in The Dark Knight, where he has a little hut and analytics and stuff like that going on
yeah,
inside the mask, or
but
like the visuals Tony has inside the Iron Man helmet.
yes,
Yeah.
but the funny line, he's like, yeah, he's terrifying. He's like, his mask is like Batman. It's just that Batman can't move his mask or something.
Yeah, that was,
He, he can't
what,
move his
what
mask.
wasn't there a joke about this as well in the Dark
Oh
Knight
yeah,
movies?
it's
Or
a true story that both what's what's fucking guy? Damn, Michael Keaton or Christian Bale had difficulty moving their necks or their head
I
wearing
think
the
it was
cowl.
like that with all Batman
Yeah,
up until
yeah,
and including Batman Begins, and only in the Dark Knight they changed, the suit around the
yeah.
neck. So I thought that joke was pretty stale, honestly.
I thought
I
it.
mean, we laughed about that 15 years ago. Come on.
Yeah, and even the funny joke where Blade says, "I don't like you," and he said, "Yeah, I know," or something like that, because of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
their.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think yeah, some of the meta humor worked. I think I
Yeah, it
laughed
did.
like 4 or 5 times, I think, throughout the movie.
Yeah,
Other than that, I thought it was pretty bad, honestly.
you thought what?
I thought the movie was pretty bad.
Bad. Ooh,
Bad, really bad, boring,
ooh.
cringe.
Oh, he said it was cringe.
Yeah, pretty cringe. I mean,
I could do
there
without the needle drops though.
Oh, I hated those. I hate the songs, so I don't
Yeah,
enjoy scenes
especially the
playing.
Madonna.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just not my kind of music,
No,
and
oh no.
it's just too much of this tongue-in-cheek, super ironic, haha, pop culture. Look at that, haha, Madonna, isn't that funny? No, why? What's the point? It's just not for me. I'm not the target audience for this at all. I think Ryan Reynolds is super annoying in this role. I mean, it's by design. He's supposed to be annoying,
Yeah, it fits
and
him.
Wolverine, of course, calls him out for it all the time. And, like I think half of his dialogue in this movie is basically just shut up, man. Shut up. Won't you shut up at some point,
Or like
Deadpool?
shut the F up, whatever.
Shut
Yeah.
the F up. It's every second line of his is basically shut up or get off of me or something like that. And Deadpool just doesn't stop talking. I know it's the character, I get it. It's just not for me. I find him so annoying. Um, and most of the jokes are also like, yeah, I get it. It's so meta. And then, Disney, Fox, haha, rights issues, haha. Oh man, what's the joke there? It's just a reference. So, it's so fourth wall breaking. It's so meta. Yeah, I get it. But what's so funny about it? Um, yeah, I'm with regards to Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm definitely, the old man yelling at clouds while everyone else is having a party with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it definitely works as nostalgia bait and a love letter to fans of the previous movies from 20th Century Fox, and of course, Blade, who was the movie that started it all for Marvel in the first fucking place.
Yeah, I just wish these cameos had some sort of substance to them. Like, when the two old Spideys join the fun in No Way Home.
Yeah.
Both of those have, there's something to their, well, it's not really cameos. They are actual players in the story
Mm.
and bring with them their backstories and their trauma. The moment when Andrew Garfield's Spidey catches MJ and is crying, and she's like, "What's up?" It's we know what's up. It's because he couldn't save Gwen, and
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, yes.
yeah, and it's moments like these that make it worthwhile and substantial and emotionally resonant for me. Whereas here, or like in Multiverse of Madness, is cameos by way of just, oh, look, here's that character and he says the thing, he does the thing, oh, look, here's Blade and he says something about, wait for it, motherfucker is skating up
Skating
ice,
up an ice hill.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fan
It's like,
service.
so he did the thing and then he's out of the movie again. It's like, come on, it's just not enough for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, it was a treat to fans of, or people that watched the previous movies, and
Yeah, yeah, it's a McDonald's burger. It looks
yeah.
awesome, and for the first 3 bites, it's pretty spectacular. And when you are done with it, you're like, was that really necessary?
Or in your case, where's the X-Lax? I gotta shit it out.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.